Hello, everyone. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today, wherever you are in this great world. We're going to talk about XRP. And I got to start with this from Chad Steingrabber. Charles Schwab research only on who will be buying crypto ETFs this year. Clearly, millennials led because they are most familiar. Boomers only do what their advisors tell them to do, which is why this new advisor push will be such a big deal. I don't agree with that. You know, I met people from all different age groups that are invested into XRP or other cryptocurrencies. I think maybe they're talking about the people that didn't get into crypto yet. You know, most people in crypto right now, they got here for one reason or another. But I think when it comes to XRP, I think XRP holders are way above the curve. They understand where everything is going. They understand that a new financial system is about to rise. Allocation recommendations move crypto to mainstream. Look at these allocations that they're pushing, these financial advisors, 3 to 4%. That's an aggressive portfolio. Listen, I'm 99% in crypto, and not just exposure to XRP through an ETF. I hold the actual asset, just like all of you do. You know, this is more to get people that maybe are invested into stocks right now to push some of their investment into crypto. I really like the idea of that happening because it does take crypto mainstream. But could you imagine having maybe 2 or 3% exposure and watching crypto go absolutely parabolic and knowing that you just missed out on a hell of a lot of gains because you listened to your financial advisor? But I remember in 2022, I used to randomly call financial advisors on the phone and bring up crypto. And it was crazy back then. Maybe 1 out of 10 would talk about crypto. The rest would be like, you don't want to get into crypto. You could lose everything in crypto. And right away, they would start talking about stocks and bonds. Now it's a much different time. We're starting to see these financial advisors push people into crypto now. How it has changed in just a few years. America's average retirement age, 85, is now 6 years older than America's average age of death. And that's totally wrong. The average age of retirement, I think, is 65 or something like that. But it's not totally wrong. Because I see people working at Walmart and they're way older than retirement age. I think it's just what you did leading up to retirement. I mean, inflation is outpacing retirement. But, you know, as a crypto investor, you could break away from this cycle much sooner. Because what you're going to make in crypto in just a few short months is going to be more than what people make working at a job for 5 or 10 years, depending on how high the price of XRP or other cryptocurrencies go. There's no place like being invested into crypto, but that window is closing. EZA founder Dom Kwok urges XRP investors lock in now or clock in forever. What he means by that is you lock in now or remain stuck in traditional work structures long term. I look at it like this. If you're willing to put your money in week over week into crypto, you already put yourself on the path to financial freedom. Early retirement, breaking away from the matrix. That's what crypto really does. Everybody's always like, well, I don't want to get into crypto. They still look at it as magical internet money. Or they want to get invested into something, accredited investments. That's the best. That's the people who only believe in the stock market. But because you went against the grain and got invested into this space, your life is going to change forever over the next couple of months. Grayscale highlights XRP consistently ranked among top 6 since 2018. XRP remains one of the only few pre-2015 crypto assets to retain its relevance. XRP's highest ranking was the second position. That's when it flipped Ethereum, which it forfeited to Ethereum again in 2020 and has failed to reclaim since. Don't worry, we're on the path to seeing XRP flip Ethereum once again. In fact, it's going to become the #1 cryptocurrency. It's just a matter of time. XRP collapsed to 6th, its lowest ranking, in 2022 amid the SEC lawsuit that started in December of 2020. Besides XRP and Bitcoin, no pre-2015 coin is currently in the top 5. You know why XRP remains in the top 5? Because it was built from day one to take that #1 spot away from Bitcoin. And that is going to happen. I'm telling you, it is just a matter of time. And when XRP flips Bitcoin, it's over for Bitcoin. Charles Hoskinson even told you that in a video just the other day. I showed you that. XRP was built to be a better Bitcoin. Southeast Asia's largest bank, DBS, cites XRP in new crypto report. DBS highlights XRP alongside Ethereum and Solana, flagging rising quantum risk across crypto networks. Advances in quantum computing could eventually threaten blockchain security, though current capabilities remain far from dangerous. Faster networks like XRP and Solana may reduce attack windows due to quick settlement times. DBS urges preparation, noting the industry is already developing quantum-resistant solutions. So they're saying that XRP's speed alone puts it ahead of the curve when it comes to quantum computing. I know Ethereum is set for some 2029 upgrade. I think quantum computers are going to be a threat by 2018, a serious threat, because we are only seeing the surface of what they're doing with quantum computers. In the background, I'm sure they're way beyond where they say they are right now. Forbes is highlighting the Interledger Protocol for global interoperability, which will enable trillions of transactions per second. And its creator said years ago when I mentioned it, ILP is in Ripple patent along with XRP. Interledger Protocol is going to be a massive game changer going forward, because everybody talks about micro payments. And those payments, it's going to be so many payments happening all throughout the day, every single day. People buying coffee and so on with crypto. That's where Interledger Protocol is going to be the biggest deal. That and global interoperability. I'm telling you now, we have not even seen the surface yet when it comes to payments running across the XRP ledger. But this is something that's going to change dramatically over the next year or so. Because first we're going to see that institutional adoption, and that's going to lead us right into mass adoption. It's going to happen. That transition is going to be so quick, and people don't realize that yet. Right now, everybody's stuck on the price of XRP. Everybody's distracted by what's going on with Iran, distracted by Bitcoin all over the mainstream media news. But once this transition starts to happen, It's going to happen so quick. Anybody not holding is out of XRP forever. South Korea is moving to legalize tokenized real-world assets and stablecoins under existing laws. The proposal sets rules for both real-world assets and stablecoins, requiring real asset backing and regulated trust while allowing stablecoins to be used more easily for everyday payments. What have I been saying? They're pushing forward in all these other countries because the U.S. is delaying everything right now. And this is happening in South Korea. So you could imagine where all these assets are going to end up, most likely on the XRP ledger. The early Bitcoin supporter claims that the state is 100% complicit in the terrifying wave of crypto kidnappings. This is happening in France, but I want you to see what they say in this article. It's actually, he makes a great point. So a prominent French artist and cryptocurrency advocate has blamed the French government for a growing number of cryptocurrency-linked kidnappings across the country. The artist Pascal Boyart took to X to lambast the state's approach in response to a report that physical $5 wrench attacks are spiraling out of control in France. The French government is 100% complicit, he said, rendering the judicial system inoperative plus KYC as kidnap your customer. It's part of the war against crypto. KYC, what you're giving up is all your information, and regulations are forcing KYC. So if you're dealing with an exchange right now that doesn't do KYC or AML, most likely that exchange is going to fold up once regulations are put in place, and you could lose all of your crypto. On the other hand, you're giving up all your information, where you live, your name, everything. And that I see as a problem because of this right here. Remember when this happened? A former Coinbase support agent was arrested in India after hackers bribed contractors to steal customer data. The breach exposed 69,461 users and led to a $20 million ransom demand. Coinbase cuts ties with involved vendors and says more arrests are coming. That happened back in December of last year. So imagine that 69,461 users' information was exposed through that breach. So that means somebody out there knows exactly how much crypto those people are holding. This is also why I always tell you to get your crypto off the exchanges, not your keys, not your crypto. But I blame Coinbase for some of this as well. And it was probably because they were looking for cheap labor, so they were outsourcing it. And those people weren't getting paid a lot of money. So when they were bribed with a lot of money, they gave up everybody's data. Trump is pushing the B system along faster than any president prior to him, and it's not even close. They are on a really tight deadline for Agenda 2030. Take a listen to what the president says here.
Many Americans are unaware that behind the scenes, the technical backbone of the financial system is decades out of date, many, many years out of date. You know that. Paul and others are straightening it out, but payments and money transfers are costly and take days or even weeks to clear. Under this bill, the entire ancient system will be eligible for a 21st century upgrade using the state-of-the-art crypto technology. Who would have thought we would have been saying that 2 years after?
So what he's saying is that they're going to do a major upgrade of the financial system. The new financial system is coming. And I've seen a lot of people say that Trump is pushing the B system. You know, when it comes to stablecoins and central bank digital currencies, I tell you all the time, there is literally no difference. RLUSD can be programmed. It can expire. It can be clawed back. It can be programmed to be used for specific items, limiting what you can buy with it as well. No different than a central bank digital currency. And even the president said we're not going to have a CBDC, until 2031. So that window also remains open. Even what's going on with Iran and all this oil and everything else, it's about crushing the petrodollar, replacing it. Why do you think Iran is accepting cryptocurrency and the yuan for payment for oil? It's about ending the petrodollar. Now, as they end the petrodollar, that also pushes more towards XRP. Think about it. If a country wants to pay in their currency, they could easily go from their currency to XRP to the yuan. They could even utilize Bitcoin across the XRP ledger to pay for oil as well. Everything that's happening right now, it all points towards XRP rising as the new system rises. Now, some people would argue and say this is not the B system that they're creating, that AI is actually the B system. But this is all coinciding with the rise of AI because we are in an industrial revolution. It's happening right now. You're invested in it already just by holding XRP. I just want to see where this goes from here. I want to see what happens going forward, because once we start seeing them talking about digital ID and one world currency and so on, that's all part of Agenda 2030 as well. But it does really look like the Great Reset is happening in real time. But either way, as an XRP investor, we get rich before all of this happens. And until it happens, stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.